eve of camp, and the Eagles are sitting pretty while the Cowboys and the Giants prepare for holdouts. And could it be possible that we have been sleeping on the biggest sleeper that there is? Professor Kenneth Gainwell. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. So we are sitting on the eve of the Eagles reporting for camp, and all is calm, all is quiet for the Philadelphia Eagles. Is this the day we're going to see Kelly Green, or are we going to have to wait until tomorrow? Either way, the Eagles have nothing to worry about. Everything is set up for success. And could we be sleeping on Kenneth Gainwell all this time? Is it possible he is the biggest sleeper on this roster? Now, we're going to get into it in a second. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And just a reminder, I will be streaming pretty much all week from Monday through Friday. Look for that. It should be fun as the Eagles report for camp, as practice begins. This is our time of the year, and you're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be fun, so make sure you subscribe. Now, it is very interesting to me, and it came really very quietly. Usually around the time of the last OTAs for teams, and while they, take the absence of 6 weeks before camp starts. Usually that's when the Cowboys usually have their players get arrested. Usually some drama happens, something happens, and really it looked like the Cowboys were on a roll. It looked like we were finally going to go through a whole off season, or this period where nobody gets arrested, where nothing happens, where they're not caught in a hotel with cocaine. It looked like they were going to get through with a very quiet all season and summer. And it looked like it was going to be easy for them. But guess what? It doesn't look like it's going to be that way. The Cowboys and the Giants have big potential problems heading into camp, while the Eagles were quiet. Everything is fine. We are ready to go. No holdouts. We are just quietly about to go do our business. Meanwhile, you get teams like the Cowboys. If Zach Martin holds out, that could be a major problem. And I forget who said this in my stream last night, the Philly Shakedown podcast, as we returned. But they said, if Zach Martin holds out, Dak won't lead the league in interceptions. He's going to lead the league in sacks, in taking sacks. And they may be right. Will the Dallas Cowboys, will they sign Zach Martin? Will they make him happy before camp, or is he going to hold out? Is he going to play all year miserable? I don't know. It's going to be an interesting question. It's so funny to me that the Cowboy fans constantly talk about the Eagles lost this coordinator, you lost these players. What are you going to do? You're on the verge of this next year. You got a lot of players. You got to re-sign your quarterback. You're going to have to restructure his deal. And you have Zach Martin holding out. The Eagles don't have any of that. We have taken care of our problems, our off-the-field things, quietly, peacefully. I mean, look, Jalen Hurts, he had one of the most biggest contracts, right? There was no crying. He wasn't talking. He wasn't complaining. He wasn't threatening the Eagles. The Eagles weren't threatening him. They quietly got it done. And so just another advantage for the Philadelphia Eagles going into camp. Everything is quiet on our front. Cowboys have potential holdouts. The Giants have potential holdouts. SAQUAN Barkley, he is not happy. He is not getting paid. He might hold out. Now, if SAQUAN Barkley holds out, basically, the Giants, you can just cancel the first game. You've just given the Cowboys an easy victory, because the Giants ain't beating anybody without Saquon Barkley, okay? I don't know where this Daniel Jones love come from. I don't know why they think Daniel Jones is so great. The guy threw 15 touchdowns. The reason why he's successful at all is because you have Saquon Barkley opens things up for Daniel Jones. Listen, I know people want to talk about Daniel Jones went to the playoffs and won. Who did he beat? the Minnesota Vikings. Who's the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings? Kirk Cousins. Well, what does Kirk Cousins do? He chokes. That was bound to happen. So I don't know how Daniel Jones all of a sudden can even be thought of in a conversation with Dak Prescott or a conversation with Jalen Hurts. Totally ridiculous. And if Saquon Barkley holds out and then doesn't show up until training camp's over, that means most likely he ain't going to be ready week 1. If he plays, he's going to get minimal snaps. And it's going to cost the Giants a victory early in the season. They're going to hand Dallas a free win. So thank you for that. Why don't you just pay your running back and make everything good? But we'll see. So the Giants, Cowboys, they got a lot of stuff going on. Washington, they got a new owner. They got a new culture they're trying to build. Who knows what to expect from them? But all I know is this. While all these other teams in the NFC are going through a bunch of crap, the Philadelphia Eagles are sitting there quietly, peacefully, and calmly getting ready to go to work and take care of business. Big advantage for the Eagles. A great start for the Philadelphia Eagles. You gotta love it. Now, speaking of gotta love, right? Could I be wrong about the running back situation? Could I be looking at this wrong? Yeah, it's a possibility. I have to acknowledge that. It's a possibility. It's calculations of the cornbread possible. It is possible that I'm wrong. Could DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny not be the running backs? Could it actually be Kenneth Gainwell? CBS Sports, they did an article and they rated, they said the one potential breakout sleeper for every team. And guess who they had for the Philadelphia Eagles? Kenneth Gainwell. Professor Kenneth Gainwell. This is what they said. Philadelphia Eagles, potential breakout sleeper, Kenneth Gainwell. Yes, Philly brought in both Rashad Penny and DeAndre Swift this all season. But Penny has been persistently injured throughout his career, and his contract contains just $600,000 in guaranteed money. Another reason why you see the Eagles possibly cut Penny if he doesn't work out. Swift, meanwhile, was acquired for a swap of seventh round picks and a future 5th rounder 2 years down the line. Amazingly, the Eagles probably have invested more in Gainwell than either player. And we already know how he has the trust of the coaching staff based on how he was used last year, especially in the playoffs. His career highs are just 68 carries and 101 touches. But if things break right, he could double that this year. Give how efficient he has been, especially as a pass catcher. That would be a lead to a nice bump up in production. So Gainwell, first of all, he was fantastic in the playoffs. I mean, Miles Sanders really disappeared. Gainwell didn't. And the Eagles do use Gainwell a little more than everybody else in the passing game. So I can see that. The question is can he beat out DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny? That's the question. A lot of people think that he can. And I think he has great talent. I think he has a huge ceiling. The question is will he get enough touches? Will he be considered the number one back? I'm expecting this early in camp. I think when they start, camp and they start practicing and they start lining up for plays and practices and even drills and all that stuff, I think it's going to be I think you're going to see Penny get a lot of first team reps early on in camp. I think that'll happen, partly because he knows the offense, he's been there, and those other guys, it may take a little bit of a transition. The question is, will that stay? If DeAndre Swift is healthy, I would think he would eventually be the number one back. If Penny is healthy, he could potentially be the number one back. But Gainwell is an interesting scenario because Kenneth Gainwell, I do think the Eagles really, really like him. And I think that if, let's say, a situation came where it was between Penny and Gainwell, I think they would choose Gainwell all day. Gainwell could be the biggest sleeper on this team, and we might be missing it. We might be. I have to say
that I think Gainwell has shown flashes. I love the way he played in the playoffs, and to me, it would just be it would just be icing on the cake if you got Gainwell, who played at a level where he could potentially threaten to be a starter. And I say that meaning Swift plays up to his ability, Penny plays up to his ability, and Gainwell plays up to his ability. Yes, I think Gainwell could possibly push them as the number one back. Now, will that happen? I don't know. I mean, I think Swift is pretty damn talented. But Rashad Penny, a lot of injuries in his past, a lot of talent, but I still think a lot more injuries. DeAndre Swift, I think, is the best running back on the roster, but Gainwell would be my second. And I think Gainwell is somebody definitely worth watching because the Eagles might want to capitalize how they used him in the playoffs and continue that and just roll that over. And listen, Gainwell could be a dynamic player. I think he has that high ceiling. I think he does. The question is, will he be given the opportunity? The Eagles are loaded at the running back position. We're loaded. We have a lot of depth. And I think we're going to end up being a better running team this year than we were a year ago, even after losing Miles. Isn't it amazing that the Eagles are paying all their running backs less than what Miles Sanders is getting in Carolina? It's pretty crazy, pretty unbelievable. But Kenneth Gainwell is somebody, what the hell are you doing, cats? They're chasing each other. Oh, God. Anyways, Kenneth Gainwell, I think we got to watch him. He could be the sleeper of training camp. And we're going to find out starting Wednesday. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat like these cats running around. And remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. Well, let's see what Madden 24 thinks about Kenneth Gainwell and his ratings. What do you think it is? Do you think Gainwell is, well, he's definitely not in the 90s. He's probably definitely not in the 80s. The question is Kenneth Gainwell even in the 70s? Is he in the 70s? If I had to guess, and I haven't looked at it yet, I'm guessing Kenneth Gainwell is probably... I'm going to say Kenneth Gainwell's probably a 70. I'll say 70 right on the button. That's what I would guess his rating is. Let's look it up. All right, Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell rating, Madden 24. 76. Wow. That's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So Gainwell's a 76 all around. Let's see what it says. Madden 24, Kenneth Gainwell has an overall rating of 76 with elusive back archetype. The above line graph shows the Madden weekly movement while below. So he's at 83. His general rating is 83. 90 speed, 87 acceleration, 70 strength, agility, 86 awareness, 86, 84 jumping, 90 injury, 84 stamina, 85 toughness. Not bad. Ball carrier is a 76. Blocking rating, 33. So he's not a good pass blocker. That's interesting. His receiving rating's 59. That's bad. He should be much higher as a receiver. Catching 68, spectacular catch 55, catch at traffic 56. I think that's a little low there, but 76 is better than I thought. That's not bad for him. Gainwell, could he be? Could he be the sleeper? We're going to find out. Denzel Washington, out.